Okay. So first of all, thanks for playing, guys. Those were pretty exciting games. Really interesting things happened in both of them, actually. So we'll talk about them
Yeah, they're
each in turn. But first, of course, if people can find you anywhere, like a stream or anything like that, please let them know. Also, any shout outs you want to make to anyone in particular, now's a good time to do that. Anuzarg, why don't you start us off?
So first off, I'd like everyone to know that they can find me on twitch.tv/Anuzarg, and basically, gosh, I shouldn't be typing at the same time. No,
Hard to focus.
wow, that's a lot better. Okay, never mind. So, so everyone can find me on twitch.tv/Anuzarg. I'm planning on streaming today,
Okay.
but basically, yes, at 7 p.m. PDT. And I would like to give a shout out to Pranav, who I am a guinea pig of, because he told me to do the first proxy hatch with roaches. He told me to do that. So shout out to Pranav, he's probably in the chat right now. So let's move on to Monta.
Yeah, you can't really find
Monta.
me anywhere. I don't really stream or anything, so I'm not gonna plug anything. But shout out to Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
so
Guy.
that's about it. Yeah, he's cool.
In fact, shout out to everybody who's been watching today, including my mod, Mr. Bailey. We got Flux, we got Pranef, Shmegegi, Trap, and of course Rob Rayner, the Rob in question.
Yep.
Now, first off, let's talk about the matches. Then, first game was on Overgrowth and was completely crazy. It was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So pretty much what I'd like you guys to do is kind of tell us what you initially decided to do and then how that changed through the game as different things happen. Basically, just comment on the game. So, you first, Anuzarg.
So first, I was thinking, okay, Bernef is going. Told me to just do the proxy hatch. I'm like, okay, let's do the proxy hatch roach. So sending out a drone, and then the drone was like, hey, there's a barracks over there. And then my overlord's just flown over it as well, like, type proxy Rex, are you proxying me? It's like, yeah. He's like, Marta, you either did a smiley face or you said something to you. And then I was like, okay, let's proxy a hatch over there. He doesn't know about it. I'll just defend my base until I can get roaches. I'm going to hold off the disaster. Then I'm going to transfer my drones if anything gets dangerous over to my proxy, and then I'll just kill him like that. But then somehow he got tanks. Where were you hiding? Hey, Monta, where were you? How do you get so many tanks?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
It was in multiple places, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So then then I was looking at those tanks. I was thinking, okay, so what we need to do now is we have to slowly build spine crawlers. As if though I'm cannon rushing, we have to slowly build spine crawlers over to the edge of the creep so that our spine crawlers can attack the tanks. And then my roaches can move in and kill off the marines. However, there was another tank at the high ground that was blowing my spawning pool to oblivion. So that was the end of that.
Pretty much.
So GG.
All right, Montasaurus, how about from your angle?
Yeah, I've recently been trying this 888 proxy Reaper build, where you build your bunker and reactor on 8, and then resume SCV production. And when I sent my SCV to go to the proxy, I kind of caught his first scouting overlord. I was like, oh, he saw it. Like, I should not do it. But like at that point, like having built my reactor on 8, I'm like, well, I might as well just go for it. And so I started building it, and then I saw his second overlord just like sitting over top of it, and I was like, I mean, I even typed GG well played because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna win now. But he surprisingly didn't have lings up as quickly as I thought he was going to, and I was able to get those bunkers up and kind of go back and forth for a while and do enough damage to his economy. And then once he kind of pressed in and I realized he had that hatch in my natural and kind of just spread them all out, it was pretty hectic. So I put my factory like in this random place over by his gold patch or something. And I had started building a factory, and for some reason he didn't go into my main and kill everything off that was there. So I was able to complete that factory in my base, but then lift it off when he came in, and then he left again. So then by that time I had tanks on the high ground and the low ground, and was able to just kind of, sandwich him. Then I was really lucky, I guess. I really thought I was dead right at the beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much looked like that from my ankle as well. I mean, it was pretty. It's a tricky game to know what to do. Like a tricky type of game to know what to do in. So, but yeah, it was pretty interesting all the same. Next match was on Ultrazine. So let's do the same thing with that one. Anuzarg.
It's on Frost, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frost.
I think it was Frost. Yeah. So first
misread
off, Monday, Protoss. It's going to. If I remember correctly, Day 9's the next Monday is going to be use only warp prisms to attack. So I was trying that. I was planning to do a mass gateway build lots of gateways, like some 100 gateways, and then just drop into his main and then just keep warping in units indefinitely and killing him that way. But then,
just to clarify, I'm actually pretty sure it's use a warp prism to attack. You don't not only. So I applaud the notion, but
it wasn't as good as ZRQ's one, so I'm not gonna send this one in. Definitely not. The last one with ZRQ went really well.
Yeah, it kind of did in
but
a way.
This one was just disaster.
But anyway, yeah, please continue.
This was just disaster. We just had Banshees flying in. We've got Medivacs trying to abuse the cliffs. I mean, like, he was just dropping my third. I was like, building stalkers, trying to hit the Medivacs. Then he just lifts up and flies into my main, and I'm like, okay, stalkers, you gotta just go exercise, walk over to the main, start shooting those. Then they just lift up and run around. I'm like, trying to. Then I decided to like, all right, let's split. Stalkers, you go up to the main, so let's you hide down here. Okay, good. And then what does he do? He lands on the cliff right next to my mineral line, and he starts shooting my probes from there. And then my thoughts are like, ugh, we have to run up the cliff. And then and then there's like a tank over there, another tank. Somehow you get so much tanks, and then my thoughts are just gone. And then we've got like a huge army moving in. I'm like, okay, guys, just keep warping in, maybe we can win this. But then once my natural's gone, I'm like, okay, never mind. We're just dead. GG. Monta.
I will say you had one really nice move that I like there is that there was that engagement in the middle of the map where you had the warp prisms and warping in the stalkers on top of the siege tanks was beautiful. I thought you lost that engagement, thought it was just gone, but managed to win, killed everything, and drove him back home. And I was like, what? That's awesome. So that was really nice. But yeah.
Thanks.
Montasaurus.
Monta plays more turn than I play Pross, okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Montasaurus?
Yeah, so I did a Banshee opening, waited until I had two to kind of deal damage, and then I kind of saw him going for a lot of gateways. But I actually want to see what the drone kill count was, because I think I did quite a lot of damage to his economy. And so I wasn't really worried about all of his gateways, because I was like, he's not really going to be able to afford to warp all of them in all at once each cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then so from there, I just eventually expanded and kept trying to poke with the Banshees as long as I could. Ended up killing my macro game. I sent into chat. I was like, "Oh my god, my resources!" I was sitting on thousands.
You were actually both in about the same place with that.
Yeah, so I double expanded and tried to add on more production facilities. Kind of brought it down a little bit, but then eventually got a force up that was able to finish him off. The warp in on my tanks really kind of frightened me, because that was pretty much all I had right then. But I usually do this build with 2 Stargates opening and getting a lot of Banshees quicker. But I decided just to keep it safe and do 1. But other than my macro game, I felt okay about it. It was pretty good. It was a good game.
Killed 43 workers, I believe, overall that game. I mean, before the big push at the end. So it was a pretty devastating amount of damage.
Final push did a lot of damage.
Oh yes, it certainly did. Anyway, thanks you both for playing, guys. It was a pretty cool game. I liked it. So
Yeah, first one was funny.
you still have a best of 5 if you want to play each other
Sure.
again. So we'll get that set
Yeah.
up, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace.